Welcome to LGBT+VG, where me and other friends who are of LGBT persuasion have discussions and headcanons about what characters in which video games are LGBT. We're not exactly experts on the matter, we're just a bunch of dudes who are LGBT just talking about which characters we'd like to think are LGBT. We're mostly talking sexualities, we're not talking gender unless it's specified in canon, and we're not really taking this seriously unless there's proof in canon whether or not a character is actually bi, gay, or what have you. Hey, so because of circumstances, it's just going to be me this time around. But thankfully, we have actually some small games. Some games with very small central casts. And that's going to make working on this very easy, especially when it's just me. So first things first, we have Bayonetta. And Bayonetta has a whole lot of characters, but we're trimming the fat all the way down to just the main characters. So all the playable people who, have names and have personalities and have places in the lore. We're not talking villains, we're not talking any of the demons or the angels. We're not talking about Cereza and Loki because they're children. So first things first, we have the main lady of the hour, Bayonetta herself, Cereza, as she's actually known. We talked about her in the Smash Brothers episode that came out last month, and we came to the conclusion that she really radiates this trans woman finding her calling in performative arts and just showing herself off to the world. And also she's definitely bi because she's not even close to straight. She has totally probably been with a dude. She loves messing and flirting with dudes, especially Luca. Personally, I don't see her as trans, however, I do agree that she radiates this trans woman trying to show herself off to the world with absolute joy in her heart type of energy. Next, we're going in alphabetical order, so as much as I don't want to talk about him, we gotta talk about Enzo. Now, Enzo is the worst. Enzo is not good. Enzo is just Joe Pesci, but somehow even less likable. Enzo is straight. Enzo, who gives a shit, honestly? Who gives a shit, honestly? Next up is Jean, and I'm coming in with a little bit of a hot take. Jean is a lesbian because Jean grew up alongside Bayonetta, Cereza, and the rest of the Umbran witches when they were in their prime, up until they all unfortunately died off. Jean has only known women in her life. She's never interacted with Lumen Sages Bayonetta's mother has. Because of this, I don't feel like she would have any kind of interest in men other than in a fascinating oh, so that's what a man's like. Oh, that's disappointing. She would not be into the idea of being with a dude at all whatsoever, at least to me. Besides, she and Bayo are definitely fucking, not even a few times, just it is happening on the regs. It is happening all the time. Hey, speaking of men, we have Luca. Luca is Italian, so that should kind of tell you. No, honestly, actually, if I have to give Luca anything, Luca totally shows himself off as being a straight ladies man, totally just this is for the ladies. Everything he does is for any women watching. He's been with Sylvia and Trish and Amy and Jill, all these different Capcom characters. But I like to think that he's bi, at least 60-40, or maybe even 70-30, for women. He's totally into girls mostly, but if there's a dude around that's probably in kind of what he's into, he'll be hesitant, but he'll totally I don't know. I think he would want to think about it at least. Now we're going slightly out of order because the last one is someone who's going to be very fun to talk about. But before that, we got Rosa, Bayonetta's mom. And Rosa, much like her daughter Bayo, much like her daughter Cereza, has been with both men and women. And because of that, it's kind of easy to classify her as bi. However, I'm going to go one step beyond, or maybe even one step backwards, and say she might be straight. If she's not straight, then she's bi with a preference in men, because once she got with Balder, the Lemon Sage, who is Bayonetta's father, she realized, dude, there's no going back. And lastly, we have Rodon. Rodon is a few things. He is an angel who became a demon because he is more or less that world's Lucifer. Rodon was and always will be one of the strongest beings in the Bayonetta series who isn't just a god. Rodon's nickname is literally the Infinite One because he is no joke. So what's his sexuality? I like to think he's pansexual. Why? Because he is into everything and everyone. If you pique his interest, it doesn't matter if you are a human, an angel, a demon, whatever. He will find a way. So next we have Celeste. And Celeste is pretty interesting because you can kind of make a case for quite a bit of character sexuality, because there's very little like background for many of these characters other than Madeline's like personal history, and even then just a little bit. Speaking of Madeline, according to one of the DLC trailers, and I think it's in the DLC itself, I haven't played it, Madeline herself is trans, because you look at her in her room with a little computer, she's got little gay pride and trans pride flags like on her desk. The only reason I know this isn't even because I looked at the DLC, because I didn't have the game when that DLC came out. I actually know about this because of a very, very angry gamer on Twitter making a big fat stink about it, and everyone just laughed and laughed and laughed. So yeah, Madeline's probably trans. Is she gay? I don't know. I don't think so, because she and Theo throughout the story, they develop like some sort of camaraderie. I wouldn't call that like a relationship, or even like say that Theo could be a love interest, but I feel like, you know, they've gotten close, at least very platonically. If I have to assign something to Madeline, some kind of sexuality, I'm gonna say she's bi, but 60-40 for women. Madeline, on the other hand, is the exact same thing, because it's just Madeline. It's just Madeline, but Shadow the Hedgehog flavored. Next up, we have Theo, who we were just talking about. And Theo, I have zero evidence for this, but these are the vibes that I'm getting off of him. Theo is gay. I can't explain it. Theo is just, I just see him as gay. I can't explain it. The old woman, I personally don't know that much about her because I only beat the normal game. Like, I didn't go back through like the whole entirety of the epilogue because, oof, getting those crystal hearts is gonna be hard. But the old woman, from what I have seen, I don't know. I think she's probably straight. Now, Mr. Oshiro, the ghost who runs the hotel that you come across, part of me thinks he's straight. I don't know if I fully believe that. I do want to say maybe he's gay too. No, he's ace. I think he's asexual. And it's not because, like, you know, ghost, ooh, who's he gonna fuck? No, it's because, like, he prides himself on his hotel, and he prides himself on it looking good and being hospitable and people being there. He doesn't really seem like someone who has time or even desire to want to have sex with anyone, and I don't know, that's kind of what I'm getting from him, that Mr. Oshiro just has zero interest, zero desire for any kind of anything. And now we have one last game, a game who has had many, many characters, but we are going to shrink that cast down to the characters that have been in pretty much all of them. Shantae. First up, we have the main character of the Shantae series, Shantae from the Shantae series. Shantae to me seems like an energetic teenager, and I should specify that Shantae is not 15. If you see that tweet around, know that it was made by an employee at WayForward who has zero hands in the Shantae game development, and at some point after making that tweet was promptly fired, probably not for making that tweet but for something else. Anyway, Shantae seems very like happy-go-lucky, energetic, but still like kind of duty-bound, like committed to her job even if she's not that great at it. But she's also like someone who really, really loves her friends. I'm gonna go ahead and say Shantae is pansexual, not just because, you know, she kind of just loves everyone and like there's hardly anything that anyone can do to make her not love everyone, but also because she's part genie, and you know, genie, magical creature, it's hard to not be pansexual when you're a magical creature. Hey, so Bolo kind of sucks, but only in concept and only by himself. When Bolo is with Roddy Tops and Sky in the Friends Forever DLC, I forget what it's called, Bolo can actually be pretty cool, but by himself, Bolo's lame. And as you can see in the half genie hero bit where you go to like the hot springs in town and you see him just there staring at the only other person in the hot springs who's just a lady, and he's just completely immobilized. Yeah, no, Bolo's straight, without a doubt, straighter than a ruler. Next we have Uncle Mimic, and Mimic is a character who doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot in the story, but you know, he's still there. He's still like an integral character of the Shantae universe. He's Shantae's uncle. I don't know if he actually is an uncle to her, but who knows. Anyway, Mimic, I'm gonna say he's gay. No evidence. I refuse. I plead the fifth. Mimic is not only gay, he's a bear. He's balding and he's got a big beard, but underneath that jacket is a whole lot of hair. Anyway, next is Risky Boots, and Risky is a hardcore lesbian. Now, there's kind of a thing in video games, especially like video games that are either from Japan or have Japanese inspired designs, that when you make a female pirate, that pirate lady is probably a lesbian. And I don't know where that stereotype came from, but the majority of lady pirates that I can think of that are from Japanese games or have Japanese inspired designs, yeah, a lot of them are very lesbian coded. Risky Boots is no exception. For one, she's not only obsessed with taking over the world, but she's also kind of obsessed with Shantae and like just messing with her and like fighting her and just seeing her. And I get the feeling that she's not entirely truthful about why she's constantly seeing Shantae all the time. Next is Roddy Tops, and I'm gonna keep this an entirely romantic discussion because, as one of my friends says, zombies are not for sex, they are for love. Anyway, Roddy Tops, I'm gonna say she's bi because she's got a lot of friends that she likes. She is very friendly with a lot of people, and even though she's falling apart all the time and you gotta like get her pieces together, she's still very cute, very fun, very happy to be around, happy to be of a help. And lastly, we have Sky. Sky, I remember when I first saw Sky's design. Sky is like one of my favorite designs in Shantae. Sky, for some reason, when I first like saw her like a long time ago, I for some reason thought she like was totally a lesbian, and I don't remember why, and I don't believe that anymore. I think, if anything, I see Sky as straight, and I can't really explain why. I think it's because she doesn't like Roddy Tops, and like, how can you dislike Roddy Tops? Roddy Tops is so good, dude. But no, I can't imagine her being with a girl. I can only imagine her with dudes, not Bolo. Never Bolo. Bolo will die having never scored, but just, I can't see it. I just can't see Sky with a woman. Sky is just totally straight in my mind. So that was Bayonetta, Celeste, and Shantae. Bayonetta has some very interesting character writing, although the character writing is going to be very interesting because it's fucking, the characters were created by Hideki Kamiya, and, you know, like, they are legit. Like, this man's writing is on another level sometimes. Celeste is one of the best games of 2018, and honestly, the characters kind of help make it that good. Sure, the game is hole-punchingly difficult, especially that last stretch. Oh god, I can never escape it. But it's still a very, very good game with very, very good characters. And Shantae is a series that I really do need to get more into. I have several of the games on PC and Switch, and I have not put that much time into them, mostly because I'm playing other games and also busy doing things like videos. So I have to make time at some point, maybe even make a video series of like, oh hey, I play Shantae. Next week, hopefully something different. Hopefully I can have people here and things won't be so awkward. I will not explain why they weren't here today. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Love you.